Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking about the 1980D Susan B. Anthony dollar. Now, it appears to be a rare coin often for people who don't know too much about it, and I'm going to get into just which ones are the valuable ones and the ones that are less so. I'll also be going over and starting out with the general history of the coin so you have a full picture on it, and then we'll also discuss some mint errors because that's a part of coin collecting that I think is really important. But we'll start with a general Susan B. Anthony dollar overview. After the 1971 to 1978 clad Eisenhower dollars, which were much larger, people wanted to use coins in circulation. They were budget-wise made a lot of sense to produce because they stay in circulation about 10 times more than a paper bill. So the government had some incentive to do it, and it could be used in things like vending machines, arcades, and other coin-operated machines, and this was the solution. However, it ended up being a little bit challenging to use, and people didn't really enjoy it. It was often confused with a quarter, but we'll get more into that. 1980 is part of a declining mintage, so 1979 tons were produced, far fewer in 1980, and then again in 1981. They brought them back in 1999 as they were ramping up production for small dollars in the form of Sacagawea ones, but Susan B. Anthony is actually the first woman U.S. citizen on a U.S. coin. They had done Queen Isabella II of Spain on the 1893 commemorative quarter, but she was a major part in the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote in the United States, and she also fought for abolitionist causes. There are no key dates and varieties for 1980D, but below there are some of them listed. And then we're also, in terms of the specifics on this coin, going to mention that it's pretty plentiful. However, there is some significant value potential in the Mint State 67 grade, which are really, really nice coins. These would be super well preserved and basically lacking any of the detail and marking up, or they would not have marking up in the details of the high points on the hair or the cheek. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like here. I believe this is a Mint State 67 example sold for about $300. And there we see the mintage. It's the most minted 1980 of the PDS. You can see because there's that D mint mark to the left of her shoulder. But there were 41.62 million of them made. And it's possibly worth certifying in Mint State 66 plus, though it's better to have that in a deal or shoot for Mint State 67 and then have a few drop down to Mint State 66. But since you can often acquire these for very similar values to $1, it can be worth, if you have a good eye, picking the ones out that are going to grade really well, and be wary that because it's pretty tough to get something in Mint State 67. However, some more obvious value ones would include anything with the obverse clad layer missing. So there are 3 layers that are sort of on a molecular level put together, and that includes a copper core and then the clad outside. But in this case, there was the the clad outside on the obverse layer that was missing, and this sold for $345 in pretty good condition. So there's certainly some value to be had. This one had the reverse missing, and that was a $220 find. And then this one was not the same date, but it was struck quite off-center, sold for $440 back in 2012. So there are definitely some valuable mint errors, and it's just people don't really realize that these exist. So often, if they haven't been super involved with coins, so I like to mention that. But there's no varieties. It's really just going to be cherry picking. High-end Mint State 67 is the grade that you need at PCGS for them to be valuable. And that pretty much does it for our 1980D overview. Hope that you enjoyed, as well as learned something about the history of Susan B. Anthony herself. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like the video, comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and some other social media platforms. You can also go to my main channel website, treasuretownYT.com, to learn more about the channel and sort of stay in contact. I also will eventually host all of these videos on coinsmetalscards.com, which will be both news, marketplace, and coin information. I do have the goal of eventually getting pretty much every U.S. coin, date, mint mark, denomination on the channel with a similar video to the one that you just watched, and that will likely all be hosted there. And then I also have treasuretowncoins.com, which is sort of my coin dealing wing, coin dealing only entity that is a little bit less focused on content production. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos. I also have videos that are not just the date, mint mark, denomination recap in this format, so you can check some of those out, and I'll have fun seeing you there.